quiet 11. Woo. How does everyone feel? There we go. Oh my gosh, this is better than it was Saturday morning when I thought you'd have more energy. I think we delivered on the promise. This was a roller coaster ride, wasn't it? Yeah, now you're like, yeah, it was. It hurt my feelings. It was great at times to walk up to you guys and then hear the bad news, which for me was good news, for you was bad. And you would say, no, this is not going well at all. And then it'd come back a few hours later and you would say, wow, this is amazing, we're in a better place right now. Only to find out a few hours later, you were back down again. So this is exactly what I wanted for this experience. I wanted you to go through that struggle. And so I'm really glad that you've made it all the way to Sunday night. So can you guys give yourselves a big, big, big round of applause for making it all the way to tonight? Like I said, this is very important, and this is something that I like to acknowledge because we don't always have everybody making advantage of that. I have all of your presentations loaded up, and so I will go over how this is going to work. There will be yet another chance for you to do a very last-minute test of your technology prior to them presenting. But before we go into any of that, remember, this event does not happen on its own. I have nothing to do with organizing this event. I simply come to help deliver it. We need to give a big, big round of applause to all of our awesome organizers who have worked so hard to keep you guys fed and supported and sheltered the whole weekend. Please, big round of applause for all of our organizers. They spend many, many months putting together all of these awesome resources, and then of course finding us incredible judges to really help end this event in a very special way so that you're challenged and you have this great milestone from which you can then move on and hopefully continue with these ideas. So, and I also want to acknowledge that there's so many organizers. I love it. This is such a great team. So I'm going to give them a couple of seconds of screen time because they deserve it as well. We also need to give thanks to our sponsors. We had a lot of great sponsors. We had Cowork Lab, or OP Labs, who provided us with an incredible space, and it was a great home to have for the entire weekend, so we're thankful to them. Also our Platinum sponsors, who were very involved in many different ways, as you saw throughout the weekend. And so again, this is a key part about our sponsors and our partners for events like this, especially at the local level. We don't want just people who are writing us checks. We also want people who are helping us out with talent, with resources in any form. And so all of our partners have been able to do that for us. And so we have many gold sponsors that have helped us as well. And then of course our silver sponsors who played a role throughout the weekend in different ways. Like I mentioned before, at the global level, we have Google for Entrepreneurs as a key partner, as we do .co and Appear In. But more importantly, remember that you also have an opportunity to enjoy $300 in cloud credit from Google for Entrepreneurs, so please take advantage of that if this is something you're interested in. The same goes for .co and for Appear In, and you have your codes. I know these were a little tough to get to you. It didn't come at the time that I always prefer to give it to you, but we finally got them last night. And so these codes work. Please take advantage of them and use them. And then they will be active probably until about Wednesday, like I mentioned earlier, so do take advantage if this is something you're interested in. So now I want to take a moment to acknowledge our judges and then allow them to introduce themselves to you so that you know exactly who you're presenting to. You did have a chance to see them on the main website, but hey, here they are in the living flesh, and so let's take advantage of that. And I will ask, starting over here, just introduce yourselves, tell us your name, what you do, and how you got connected to this Startup Weekend event.
Okay, I'm going to start. So my name is Päivi Järvenpää. I come from OP Lab, and you can only guess how I got involved with this. And I'm operations manager there, so I do lots of stuff with lots of great people.
Hello and welcome to Oulu. My name is Minna Omantoivio. I'm a founder and CEO of Medkit Finland. Also work as a teacher in Oulu University. Also, I am a part of the City Council and City Board, so I need to know what is happening in a town. That's why I'm here.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sami Niemelä. I come from the Oulu Innovation Alliance, one of the sponsors, proud sponsors of this event. I work there as a network director in the commercialization ecosystem, which is, by the way, a fantastic ecosystem. Now you are all part of it, and I'm so proud to have this kind of event in our town. Personally, I have to say this every time I have an opportunity. I love numbers. I believe in markets and competition, and I don't like that much of government intervention. But that's enough politics for you, right?
We'll have a segment for him later.
Don't talk about Trump.
There you go.
I'm Del Foy. I'm from the Brady School of Management in University of California, San Diego. I teach entrepreneurship in the MBA program there, as well as the undergraduate program. I got invited here because about 4 or 5 of my former students here from 2013 invited me, knowing that I would be here tonight. So thank you very much.
And I am Esko, and I represent both the university academic life and also the entrepreneurship and company life. So I have been teaching on many different things, for example, the entrepreneurship by business mind and medical technology things. And I am in 7 companies as a shareholder. One of them is this Nogu, but there are 6 more.
Thank you very much. Let's give it up for our presenters. Thank you very much. This is always really important because they dedicate their entire Sunday afternoon to us, and there's a lot they could be doing, but they're here to serve you and to help you and give you a lot of great feedback. But more importantly, they're here to challenge you with questions that you have not heard all weekend. Very different questions. They're objective. They haven't been here all weekend with us. They do know what the objectives of the event were, and I already briefed them on what to listen for and what to ask about. So if, for instance, during the Q&A, if there's something you don't present on that they were expecting to hear, those are probably going to be their questions, so keep that in mind. And then from there, you can build into your other answers. So we're also lucky enough, and I don't like talking about this on Friday, because, like I said, this event is really about learning. It's not even about your idea, it's about the process. And it's definitely not about the prizes, but it's nice when there's a few prizes at the end of it. And so first place is going to receive 2 months of co-working space at the OP Labs. So where you were, you get to stay there. So if you're first place, don't move, leave all your stuff. You can sleep there. No, I'm just kidding. You cannot sleep there. There's also going to be mentoring from the Avanto Accelerator. And so you're going to have access to mentors from that accelerator. And lastly, tickets to the Polar Bear Pitching event. Second place team is going to have coaching sessions hosted by Microsoft Flux. And then, of course, mentoring as well from the Avanto Accelerator. Third place, coaching and mentoring as well. Coaching by Microsoft Flux and the mentoring from Avanto. We're also going to have a Kilo Growth winner. And this will be selected separately, and this person will receive some office space. And then finally, the Ultra Hack winner will receive tickets and a mystery prize. And so Ultra Hack will be selecting a separate winner, and they will be receiving a mystery. I know, mystery. I don't know what it might be. You might be sitting near it right now. It could be under your nose. Look around. So the judging criteria, we went over this on Saturday. But just as a quick reminder, the judges are going to be listening for all of this. They have been briefed. They were briefed in the same way you were. They have the guiding questions, just like we talked about. So they're going to be listening for everything you've been working on all weekend. And this is what you've been preparing for. So your slides should reflect all of that. Should they not hear something, they will ask questions about the things that they did not hear. But it will all be related to the process. And so that's been the mission of this weekend. How pitching is going to work. I made a mistake with the, oh gosh, look at this. Clearly I did not prep this. SW Oulu for the hashtag, by the way, or for the handle. But each team will have 5 minutes to pitch, and the judges will have 5 minutes, not 3, 5 minutes for Q&A. So think about this as you're also delivering your pitches. Do not go into too much detail. Sometimes it's tempting to go into a lot of detail and you to get a little nervous, and then you start going into detail. Don't do that. And I say that because you have also 5 minutes of Q&A in which you can then go into the detail if the judges ask you about it. So keep that in mind. But they will have 5 minutes. And the way we're going to do this is while the current team is still in their Q&A, when there's still just a couple of minutes left, I'm going to be looking around and I'm just going to make a little, like gesture like this. I'm looking for the next team to begin working their way down here so that we can begin switching the slide deck and making sure that everything works. The clicker works, everything, and then this way, as soon as the team before you is done, we can then transition right to your team. Sound good? Questions, comments, concerns? Alrighty. So, make sure again that you do come a couple of minutes early. Remember, they're going to have 5 minutes, and I will be looking around when there's a couple of minutes left to make sure that you're coming down. I just won't be able to spot you necessarily, so I'll just kind of do this, and that's a signal the next team should be coming down so that we can get you set up. All right, here is the order. Phones are going to come out, perhaps. Pictures will be taken. I will stand out of the way. I'm not part of the picture here. But this is the order for tonight. So be mindful of your order. Know who goes before you. Please know who goes before you so that you can be ready to come down and get your slides ready before that. Look at that, the most popular slide of the night. You did not do it, so no congrats yet. All right. Are you guys ready? No, a little louder than that. Are you ready for this? There we go. All right, that's what I needed to hear. Okay, so shall we get the first team up here? Do we have freeze frame ready? Let's get them up here. All right, I will be timing the presentation. Will you be holding one as well? Okay, so I'm going to go off of yours. So this will be visible. For this one, I do want you to see the time only because it's 5 minutes. So I just want you to be mindful of where you are because you might be switching speakers or whatever it might be. So you can take a look at that. And then as soon as it goes off, do begin to clap very loudly, and that will signal to me. So that way I don't have to stand over here and look at the time. Are you ready? Questions, comments, anything? Networking juice. You're good. Okay. Just checking. Just checking. I think you already had some stuff. All right. Cool. So whenever you're ready, we'll start the clock. 5 minutes.
Hi. I'm from Freeze Frame, and together we want to help you to capture the perfect moment. Or rather, let's help Maya to do it. Who is Maya? Maya's an interior designer. She's very busy with work. She's married, and she has 2 kids who are quite a handful. But Maya has a problem. Often, her parents are in town just for a short time, and she wants to get that perfect photo with her kids and her parents, but she doesn't want to spend hours taking pictures. So we designed an app for that. What we did is created a product that we like to call Freeze Frame. What this does is it allows her to spend more time with her family. She can just take her camera, she can point it, click the shutter button once, and know there's going to be a perfect photo in her library. How does she know that? Because we take 10 photos, and then we use cloud computing to make sure that we have the absolute best one, and it automatically stores that in her library. So basically what we're offering is 2 key values. We offer great photos and more time with the people that you love. We know that people like Maya are interested in this because we've talked to them. We spent yesterday walking around Oulu and talking to young families to see if they would be interested. The common theme we found is that it's almost impossible to take pictures with kids. And we wanted to solve that, and we wanted to make sure it got done very quickly. So this is what our app is actually going to look like. We're going to follow the freemium model, which means you can download it for free. And then for each additional 30 moments that you want to take, all you have to do is pay an extra 99 cents. We know that people like Maya would be interested in this because it reminds Maya of a time when her parents had to go to the store, they had to buy a film. And that put a value on each moment, and that's what we're doing to make them all the more special. How are we going to market this? We're going to start by focusing our target audience as mom bloggers. We're doing this because, first of all, they're very interested in our product. We reached out to them through Instagram, and one of them described our product as possibly being a complete life changer. So that clearly shows that they're very interested. The other benefit of this is that they have a lot of families that watch these blogs and video blogs online, and they can offer our product as a way to sort of hack photography for young families. But Maya's seen a lot of apps on the App Store, but she wasn't quite satisfied. Why is that? It's because there are a lot of apps that are providing enormous quality, but they also take a lot of time. And that's the biggest problem. If you have all the time in the world, you can go to a professional photographer, sit down for 2 hours, and you'll end up with a good photo. But then, if you're Maya, and you want to get a perfect photo at home, you can start by using Instagram, but that still takes a lot of photos. Some apps have tried to improve this process by taking a video and allowing you to clip it to the frame that you like the most. Samsung took this a step farther by making burst photos where you can simply select the ones you like. But the problem with this is that it still leaves all of the sorting, all of the things up to you to do in the end. So we here at Freeze Frame wanted to create a product for Maya. Once we created this product, we realized we needed to make a slideshow. Once we realized we needed to make a slideshow, we realized we needed a team picture. So this is the one that we eventually ended up with. And as you can see, all of our eyes are open, we're all smiling, we're all looking really good. You know how we did that? We used freeze frame. So this is exactly what our app would look like. There's a big, obvious pink button that you push, and then bam, shoots 10 frames, takes the best one, saves it right to your library. It's that easy. And then you can spend a lot more time with your family. So, at Freeze Frame, we really want more people to join us. More specifically, we're looking for software developers, engineers with knowledge of cloud computing to help us make this app the absolute best that it can be. So we hope that you'll join our team and help Maya to allow more time, to have more time with her family. Thank you.
Wow, I love that that's the address to OP Lab, right? They've already, I think, declared themselves first place. They have the office space as far as they're concerned. You might have an extra resident, just, I'm sorry about this. I did not know they were going to do that. But. So the judges will now have 5 minutes. The clock will start as soon as they ask the first question. Just so you know, I will always let a judge sneak their question in right before the buzzer goes off. So if they get that question in, you'll have the chance to answer even though time has run out. This goes for, of course, every single team. So I will never cut the judge's question off. I ultimately want them to have all the info that they can have, that they need. So who would like to go first?
I would be curious to know more about your interview process, and that validation process. I would love to hear more about what you learned when you talk to people.
Sure.
Excuse me, can I continue? Because I had the same question. I just want to know how many people you interviewed.
Sure. I'll start with yours and then move to yours. The first thing I did was start with talking to people about, first, are you worth my time? Do you take group photos? They said, no, thank you, have a good day. If not, we moved into the broad question. Can you tell me a bit of a story about the last time you took a group photo? Next, so can you tell me what was the most challenging part of taking that photo? And then we moved from there into, why was that so bad? And how did you solve that problem for yourself? Finishing this up before we said thank you to them was, so what about your solution just didn't work for you? With those questions, we were able to dig deep into what the root of how they went through their process and what it was that they eventually did and how they still had pain about it. We were able, during the course of yesterday, to talk to 29 either individuals or couples. Sometimes we talked to two people at once about what their pains and problems were with the photo taking process. Oh, yeah. And during that, we went into this thinking that we were going to talk to teenagers and found that teenagers like taking lots of photos and didn't see this as a problem at all. So our initial area was invalidated, in fact, and we moved on to working with these young families because we heard a much deeper need from them than we heard from the teenagers.
Okay, a few words about the costs.
Sure.
Have you done your homework on that as well?
Yes, then no. So we'll be fair on that one. So our initial cost structure is based on the fact that we have to do a subscription. It's not our ideal, but because we are using cloud services, there's a continued cost for the user for us. So the more they're using this, the more it costs us. So we knew we needed to do that, but we also knew that people are not going to pay to download this app in the first place. So at some point, we do have to give them that initial $30 to work with it. What we haven't had a chance to do is talk to people specifically whether that 99 cents is that correct price point. We've heard that for birthdays, holidays, things like that, when the parents are in town, they would pay for a premium app to make this easier for them. We haven't heard the exact amount for that, so it could fluctuate. We set it at 99 cents based on the cost to us, so that it would based on what it costs to use the cloud services, which basically works out to about 1.5 cents for processing everything in that burst cluster. We would end up with 55 cents from that 99 still working for us to put into operations and whatnot.
So how big is the market?
There are 100,000 new parents that are willing to pay for in-app purchases each year in America alone. There are 4.4 million mommy bloggers, and does anyone remember any other? Okay, so those are for our starting audience. If we're working with that, sort of the intersection of those, I suppose. So we know that there are of the new parents in America, 5 to 10% say they are willing to pay for those for in-app purchases when they purchase apps for Android and iOS, and that on average works out to about 100,000 people, and that. If we're looking through mommy bloggers and people who are interested in this area, that there were the 4.4 million worldwide.
Okay, have you discussed how to cooperate with the big players like Apple, Samsung, and other?
We would love to eventually sell this as a feature in their phone. If that happened, that's an excellent exit strategy. As it stands now, we are partnering with them. So it would, at the moment, the ones we're looking at in terms of the cloud services that we are purchasing, that would be either Google or Microsoft. They're the ones that are providing the cloud service APIs we would use. And the partnerships with those are extremely easy to establish. They're always looking for new people to join that side of things.
This is not a question, this is a free hint. So I can't see any mummies in your group, and I tell you guys secret. If the family is taking a picture of the family, it's not the system which is using which one is the best one. It's always the best picture, whereas the mummy is the most prettiest one.
Thank you.
That is good advice. All right, let's give it up. Round of applause. Thank you very much, guys. Please finish up your notes.
Hello, we are Food Droid team. We are building a cool new app that suggests you where to go and what to eat based on your food restrictions. Let me go deeper into the problem. According to Nielsen, globally 64% people follow a diet that has food restrictions. In the US, the number of people that are vegan grew from 1 to 6% since 2014. 1 out of 13 kids has diet restrictions, and 30% of them has diet restrictions on more than one food items. Now, what do these kind of people who has food restrictions do when they try to figure out which food they want to eat? They search in apps like TripAdvisor, and TripAdvisor suggests the same 4-star restaurants to all of them. Now note, it's suggesting restaurants to all of them. They still need to spend a lot of time when they go to the restaurant to figure out what they're going to eat. Introducing Food Droid. Food Droid knows every individual person's needs and restrictions, and it suggests perfectly matching food just for them. So we help users to find the food based on their restrictions, and we also help the restaurants to figure out potentially new customers and also satisfy their existing customers with the specific needs. To understand the problem and the solution better, we decided that we'll actually quickly demo the application first. So here is what the user will see when she downloads the app. She presses continue, quickly enters her name to get started, and then she enters whether she's a vegetarian, vegan, and if she has any of those most common food restrictions. Then she presses continue, and then we ask if she has any allergies. She can type, search, and then press continue, and voila. We start suggesting food specifically for her. She can scroll left and right to figure out which food she likes, and if there is something she actually doesn't like at all, she can scroll it down and throw it to the bin, and we never suggest any similar food like that. So the more the user uses the app, the better suggestion she gets next time. And she can also look at the map if she wants to prefer based on location. Finally, let's say she tries to find the food and she finds it, falafel pita. She goes there, she tries it, and next time she launches the app, we ask her, hey, did you try it? How was the food? She gives a rating, and the next suggestion will be based on this rating. As I say, the more the app that she uses, the better the suggestion will be next time. So, how did we came up with this idea? We started with actually a completely different idea. No surprise there. We thought we'll create the app that will suggest people food based on what they love. About food enthusiasts. But when we went out on the street, we didn't find that many people. Then we pivoted to the idea that because many couples said they don't find a common place where both will be happy. We tried to validate it, not too many couples. Finally, we came up with the Food Droid restriction. We went out to the street, and yes, there are a lot of people that are vegetarian, vegan, and have some allergy issues. So we stick to that. So, competitors. As you can guess, these are our competitors, but none of them suggest specific food based on the needs. It's always the same restaurant. Now, business model, where the revenue will come from. We decided the app must be free for all the users so that we get started quickly. The revenue will be based on displaying advertising like banners and pop-ups, and then we'll introduce some premium features. For example, our premium users will get specific discounts from certain restaurants. And in near future, we'll also sponsor search results. So restaurants who pays us, their food will be highlighted more. Customer acquisition will start with influencing marketing. For example, we'll try to get some influential bloggers. We'll obviously do online marketing, and we'll try to sponsor specific community events, for example, a vegan event. Now, quick description about how we'll get started with technically. We will scrap the existing websites and we'll search their menu, and we'll try to find the, from the menu, we'll automatically search the gluten-free, lactose-free, mild, that kind of restrictions. Because we need the restaurants to be onboarded quickly. And later, when we have enough restaurant data, we'll go door to door and ask Would you like to join us? Here we have an interface so that you can input your menu very quickly to us. And here is our great team. I started this pitch on Friday. I actually owned a restaurant called Exotic Fusion, tried to put the logo there. Thanks for starting event to find this great team. They helped me to fine-tune this idea really a lot. Thank you.
So have you discussed how to persuade the restaurants to join to these users of your product?
Thanks, it was a perfect question because, as I was saying, I'm actually at daytime a software engineer working for Epsicure, and at evening time I am a food hobbyist and I started a new restaurant in Oulu called Exotic Fusion. So I own a restaurant now, and I see people coming and looking at our menu very confused, and they talk with our waitress like 5 minutes because it's a new restaurant, they don't know. So as a restaurant owner, I think there is a serious need to automatically suggest the best food from the menu. And actually now I'm working with Osuspunky. They have this Kotiboti, which suggests pizza in a Facebook chat. Now we're working with them to suggest with a chat the best food the customer would work. And we prototyped these and we tried with few samples and they were like, whoa, yeah. It asks questions like, do you like food that is spicy? They say yes. Do you like food that is sour? They say yes. Do you like food that contains cream? They say yes. Okay, you love Sri Lankan curry. And people say differently and something like noodles is suggested. And customer has been very happy when they try the food. Yeah, this is what they would expect to have.
Could you describe the customer more demographically other than a person that has just food allergies?
Other than food allergies, okay. We Googled and according to Nielsen, the non-hotel segment in TripAdvisor in 2016 was 290 million revenue-wise. So it is still touching the restaurant area, and our focus was only the restaurants, but not necessarily food allergy issues. As I said, 290 million with the restaurant segments, non-hotel segment to be specific.
Okay, let's make a brief recap. Again, the value proposition and how did you come up with that?
Okay, when we developed our menu, it was traditional paper menu. People were scrolling and taking 10 minutes. The most difficult part for me, specifically for my business, they were taking too much time from a waitress. Waitress needs to serve a lot of people and she was stuck explaining food to one customer. Then we developed something called flowchart menu. It is in production use, customer is using it now. It's a paper menu, but it has a flowchart. People answer the questions, do you like this and that, creamy food, sour food, and in the end they choose the menu based on the flowchart, not traditional flat list. Then I thought, maybe people would love when somebody suggests based on their need. And then I found actually it's more people having restrictions, their numbers more. As I said, initially on Friday, I thought it would be based on what people love. Today, it changed to based on what people need on their diet.
I'm allergic to raw carrots, and somebody asked me Friday that can I bring you the lunch, and do you have any kind of allergic? I said, yeah, raw carrots and stupid people. So how would you solve the problem with your app?
When you start the app, you'll select allergy and carrot. So the app will search exactly what you need. It will search the recipe of the food. As I said, when we open the API for restaurants, it will specifically ask how did you cook the food. Because I own a restaurant, now I know the industrial process. I can help create the API that asks very few specific questions. Like what ingredients did you use? There are 12 ways of cooking, like baking, pan frying, deep frying, only 12 ways. We'll ask how did you cook? So a few questions, because now I have the industry knowledge. I can create an API that asks those questions. And, okay, this is self-advertising, but I guess I have to do it. I have developed F-Secret Freedom that has been downloaded over 1 million times. I think I can help merging the software industry and the restaurant industry the best.
I just have one final comment, is because they touched the areas that I would have liked to ask you as well. I like how you defined the market size well, great data, clear percentages and nice, clean design. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other comments, questions, anything? All right, let's give it up for them. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. So while the judges wrap up, we've got our next presenter on deck. Wow. Great job so far, guys. This is looking really good. I wanted to ask a question real quickly. How many people after this weekend plan to attend another startup weekend? Raise your hand, just by show of hands. Got a light in my eye. Oh, wow. Some of you are like, done, that's it. I did one. Or you're starting your company perhaps after this, so you won't be needing another one. Very cool. Can I get one person's feedback on what this weekend, what was so different about this weekend for you than what you normally do in terms of an event, or how you normally act in an event, maybe what you attempt at an event? I heard a couple of stories, people that came up to me and told me something they tried that was different, and I appreciated that. But I'd love to hear someone share that with me. Oh, thank you very much. Juice guy. There you go.
So one thing that